animation is usually a very lonely experience.
It is, yeah.
But it sounded like you built a team, and I was wondering what was it like to work through this subject with others? How did you support each other through that time?
It was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah, so this project started out very solitary. It started out, I was taking a solo backpacking trip, and I was out in the mountains on my own and sort of felt very like in touch with my body, which is part of why we came to this exercise to start the day. Felt very in touch with all the processes going on in my body, and it led me to thinking about how incredible and weird and cool it is that we have this chance to be in this body, and led me to wondering what somebody who might be facing the end of their body might have to say about this absolutely bizarre experience we get. And that's where it started. And pretty quickly, that curiosity led me to, you can't exactly just like post on the internet and say, I'm looking for dying people, which I tried. It doesn't work. So community was the way in. And I got very involved in a community of New York City end-of-life caretakers, specifically end-of-life doulas. And if you all don't know about this, this is a non-medical support system for folks at the end of life. A doula might do things like making sure you're connected with the legal support you need on a very or making sure that your hospice team is taking care of you in the way that you need on one level. On another level, they might be offering spiritual care. They might be offering care that's tailored to your religious or ethnic background in a way that maybe a hospice chaplain can. They might also be helping you facilitate dying where you want to die if you don't want to do it in a hospital or things like that. And this community of folks that I met were incredible. And I would love to get into that some more. But so we got into that, and took a very long time to get all these interviews together and a lot of trust building, because these are vulnerable folks, and documentary is often extractive, right? It's often filmmaker takes and the participant gives. Mm. And so to gain that trust with folks who could be taken advantage of took a long time. And so we ended up in a bit of a time crunch to do the animation, and it was the greatest gift. Mm. It led to me really calling on a community of wonderful folks. And we managed to do all of the animation and color from character design to finish in about 2.5 months, which you're an animator.
Incredible.
It's 13.5 minutes, yeah.
That's it, especially for the length, yeah.
Yeah, and so getting to the answer to your question, we gathered a group of folks every weekend at NYU. My producer was my animation side producer, who was amazing, Zoya Baker, shout out there. Helped gather us all on the animation floor, sometimes 8-10 people. And we would all, every frame in the movie is physical. There's a real frame to it, and it's all oil pastel. It's all something you can touch. And so we all sat together elbow to elbow and talked about everything, but definitely talked about grief and death, and started each day with a meditation as a way to ground ourselves. And we had death doula guests come in and talk to us, and all sorts of, it was just deeply collaborative, really beautiful. And it reflected what I learned in the project, which is that to all of these folks I interviewed, what mattered most at the end of life was connection.